Hi friends, today we are going to be working with the element of art of texture. We are going to be making a dragon eyeball. This is a pretty fun project that I am excited to do with you guys. All right, so to start with, you guys are going to need a pencil and a sheet of paper. Like always, I am going to start my drawing with a marker so that you guys can see my lines a little bit better. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with the almond football shape for the eyeball. Okay, now from there, we are going to make a circle inside. And then we're gonna make two triangle curves to work as our highlights of the eyeball. And then we're gonna make kind of another football shape as the actual eye shape in the center. I didn't do a very good job of making that very pointy, but that's okay. Okay, so here is our eye shape, and I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and color that in. And I'm gonna suggest that you guys go ahead and use markers for this part. You don't have to, but I just think it's gonna look pretty sharp if you keep it nice and solid and dark with marker. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the eyeball part. And this part of the eye. Okay. And then we are gonna finish the inside. I'm gonna use a little bit of yellow for the eyeball today. Okay. So the reason I like yellow is that it's such a bright color, and I love the contrast against the black. Just really kind of makes it to pop. Plus, it just kind of looks, I don't know, a little creepy-ish, I guess. Very sinister, which is good for a dragon, I guess. Okay, so eyeball is drawn. Now we are ready to move on. Okay, we are gonna repeat that same football shape again out here. Okay, and what we're gonna do, we are gonna create more of like a scale-like texture, bumpy texture inside this area here. And we're gonna do that by making humps like this, partial circles. I guess it also kind of looks like we're making it into a flower. And we are just gonna keep repeating that texture to create the appearance of a bumpy scale-like texture. Now I'm gonna try to keep it going so that it touches the edge, but there are some areas where I'm gonna have to come in and draw some more lines because my bumps just were not hitting that. So I'm just gonna kind of come in here and fill in wherever some additional lines are needed. Something like that. Okay, now for the remainder of the dragon eye, we are gonna do rounded rectangles. So they're gonna be rectangular-like, but instead of having pointy corners, they're gonna have curved corners. So they're a little bit softer and more rounded. And we just wanna fit those wherever we can. And we wanna try to stagger them a little bit like we were doing bricks. Okay, and we're gonna do this all the way around our dragon eye. And you can turn it around if you need to. It's really whatever works best for you. I'm just gonna keep doing this rounded rectangle. And some of mine end up being a little bit more ovalish, and that's fine. We just wanna have a variety of sizes compared to, because we had these smaller ones here, so we wanted larger shapes for this section to kind of give ourselves a little bit of contrast. Because we want this to obviously be more of the eye and then this to be more of like the face. So by changing up the sizing of our texture design, we can kind of help give the appearance of a real dragon. Okay, so when we're finished, it's gonna look something like this. Now, you did all of this ideally with pencil today. So the next thing you're gonna wanna do is trace it with a marker. You can use any color, depending on how you plan on coloring your dragon. Now, okay guys, so for the coloring part, you can choose any color scheme you want for your dragon eye. On this sample, I did greens and yellows, but you could do reds and oranges, or you could do pinks and purples, blacks and like pinks, anything you really want. It's your choice, okay? So I think for mine today, I am gonna go with a purple pink kind of combination. All right, so I'm gonna grab myself a few crayons to work with. Okay. And let's see, so I am gonna start by doing a little bit of this pinkish color. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a little bit of solid pink here. I'm gonna color this first row all in this one. And then what I'm gonna try to do is layer some additional colors as I keep going. So I have some color blend going on with the coloring. Okay, so I'm gonna actually go ahead and start coloring a little bit on the second row too. And I'm not worrying about being perfectly neat, since it's all gonna kind of color blend in together since I'm sticking with similar colors. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this darker pink down here. And then let's see what happens next. How about I try a little bit of this purpley color. I do need to peel a little bit of paper. It's kind of hard to color with. Here we go. Add a little purple on top. That way it still stays in that same pink family, but it gives me a little bit more variety with crayon colors and what I can do to make it look a little bit more realistic and with depth. Now, timing wise, this is a 2-day project, so you guys may want to get the drawing and the outlining part done and then maybe start coloring on day 2, or work until you kind of get tired, because it does get a little tedious coloring, especially with doing the layered coloring where we try to use multiple colors. I understand that it's a lot to do. A little detail can take extra time and your hand can get fatigued. Let's see how this one looks. And that one looks pretty similar. Let's try, see if this one looks a little bit different. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and just color the rest of this in. So I kind of started with a like magenta, and then I went to like a magenta purple, and then I did purple and like a light pink to finish this eye shape out. Okay, now for the rest of my dragon, I am going to go ahead and do similar idea. I'm going to do some of this color here, this magenta-ish color. And again, I'm not worrying too much about how nicely I'm coloring because I am going to do some color blending. So I'm getting some of this magenta down on this first row. And then I'm actually going to come in with a little bit of black this time. Now, black is a pretty strong color, so we have to be a little bit careful not to get too dark or it's going to definitely take over. So I may have to even layer a third time on this one with more pink so that it doesn't become too overpowering. I want to make sure that it still looks like in my pinkish purplish family. So I'm going to come over here again with a pinkish color. And there we go. And now that combination of that black and that pink together just gives me a nice, rich, deep pink color without looking too black. Because I have another layer still and I want to keep going. I didn't want it to be too dark too soon. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I think I'm going to go ahead and just color what's left with my black. And that way I can play around with the amount of pink and purple I'm going to need to balance that off, especially in this area where I have a decent amount of those rounded rectangles left. So this project is using the idea of a rough, bumpy, scaly texture. And we're trying to replicate that some with these rounded rectangles and the scaly round bumps around the eyeball. Okay, and I think I'm gonna use a little bit of purple even to get these a little bit richer. Ooh, I like that combination. That purple adds just enough contrast that I can really see a difference between that first layer, and that's kind of what I wanted. Sometimes changing order makes a difference, and then sometimes just adding that third color blend. So black, the magenta, and then the purple really kind of makes this pop. Okay, and there we have it, friends. There is our finished dragon eyeball utilizing texture and color blending. All right, hope you have some fun with this one. I cannot wait to see the end result. This is one that I think is gonna be super neat. All right, guys, have some fun, and I'll see the finished result soon. Bye.